Hey guys, this is Tim with Oto Audio Visual. I'm here to show you some things about lighting control. Going to go over a fairly simple board and some of the lights. Right now we're using a Blizzard system, but this would the principles would apply to Chauvet, ADJ, a variety of other light manufacturers out there. Alright, so this is the control board. This is the Blizzard Snow Control. Like I said, it's one of the kind of some of the lower end options. We have some other control options that are higher end, larger consoles or software based. But this is the Snow Control. We are controlling 16 lights here with this particular setup. Right now you see you've got the 16 channels across the top with all the 16 individual faders. You also have what's called scenes here. So I can set the lights in a fixture the way I want them. And then I can pull up those scenes for reference later, and I'll show you that in a minute when we're looking at the lights, so that I can do easy switching depending on the situation or if I want to change it in between songs or for a different event or something. And then right here is scans, and this is how you select the specific lights. You do also have a second page of 32, so you've got the 1 through 16 and then the 17 through 32 if you hit this AB page select button. Again, you've got some bank options here. So you have 30 banks with 8 preset scenes. So if you do the math there, that's I think about 240 preset scenes that you could have programmed into the device. And then you can control, now what these sliders do depends on how you set up your DMX, how you've addressed your DMX, and what type of fixtures that you're using. So at this particular church, we have designed a bit of a cheat sheet here, and this is just kind of the layout of their lights. This tells you where they're at. And right here they're using 3 separate lights. They're using the LB Par Hex, the G70 spotlights, and the Storm Chasers. So for example, on the LB Par Hex, the first slider, if I'm selected on an LB Par Hex, would be the dimmer. But on the G70, the first slider is the pan. So I have to know that and be aware of selecting that. I can select multiple lights at one time, but if I select a Par Hex and a G70 at the same time, then obviously those controllers are going to do different things for that. So we want to be aware of that moving forward as we go and look at this. Also, something that this particular client has decided to do is to set up some scenes here, and they wrote them down so that they know what scene is what for quick access. So they've got all red, all green, all blue, and we'll show you these some later. And these are pretty simple, and then we've got a little bit more advanced ones with the red, white, and blue for July 4th, and the Christmas scenes that has blue and green. So there's a lot of different options that we'll show you about here in a moment. And then also this right here is the NEFI unit. It allows you to wirelessly connect some of the lights. So the light bars that you'll see in a minute, or you'll see the effect of, those are hardwired in through DMX. But we have some that are kind of on the periphery, and that running the wire to them would have been a big hassle, so we actually have those connected wirelessly and then still run through this board to that. So we'll look at the lights here in a second. Alright, so we're back here and you're looking at the light bars and the stage. On the light bars we have 12 Par Hexes, 2 G70s, and then there are 6 Storm Chasers around the room for a total of 20 lights. So we're going to go ahead and select an individual light. And it depends on how it's mapped. I'm just going to go ahead and select one of the first pars here. And so if I hit the appropriate button, it's A1 actually for this particular light I'm going to mess with. I'm going to turn the dimmer on. And there you got that going. It can go up and down. I can do the halfway, all the way. I can also make that strobe a little bit, and I can control the speed of the strobe if I want to. And then I should be able to bring in some colors as well, depending on how things are set up there with the system for us. So that's that light. Now I can also select more than one at a time. I could take these two for example, and first of all I'm going to turn the dimmer all the way up, because that's going to be a factor, turning the dimmer all the way on, because if I don't have the dimmer on, it's not going to matter what I do with the rest of the stuff. If I turn the light, the green all the way on, but the dimmer's off, you're not going to see anything. So that's got that, and I've got both those sets of lights there. Let's go ahead and bring in a different one for control options there, and then you can see I'm controlling several lights all at once just by doing that. And again, as I said, depending on how it's mapped, it will affect which lights I pick. So I'm going to typically, if I'm going to select more than one light, I'm going to select them to be the same kind of light. So I'm not going to really mix in a G70 and a par at the same time, because then my control options on the board itself will be different. Let's go ahead and select one of the back wall units, the storm chasers here. And so I am going to, real fast, this has an interesting little option. I'm going to set this middle here, and then I'm going to turn on my dimmers. Sorry, I'm going to bring that down there. And I'm turning on my dimmers there, and then that's obviously at red, and that's your strobe function for it. There's your red, your green, your blue on that specifically. Now I'm going to bring those down, and I'm going to select the G70s here. And first of all, again, I've got to turn the dimmer on. So there we've got the dimmer. Then I've got a variety of options with that. I can change and pick a particular color setting, and because I'm selecting both of them, I could have them one on different colors if I selected them individually, but I could have it all doing the same thing in the same color setting if I select them at the same time. And so that's gonna change there. There's a bunch of different things that you can do with this. Again, you've got your strobe functions as well with this one, and it has to do with how fast I'm doing it, how fast I want it to go, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, there we go. So we're back on that. Let's change to a little bit nicer color. I'm being a little picky here. We're gonna go with green. And then this also, as you know, you can turn and pan. And if you notice, our lights are going in opposite directions, it seems, and that has to do with how they're hung. But the reason that we did this is that it would have the least movement as possible from resting position to start the spotlight of the pulpit in this particular situation. And then you've got your up and down, your tilts, and you can go and do a variety of other options. You've got some color wheel options that you can change in here. And then that's a little bit out of focus, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and bring in my focus and get that tight focus. Looks like that's the sun gobo right there on that. And then I could change that if I wanted to dots or whatever other gobos that those particular lights have. It just depends on how I had that set up. So that's that. Let me show you a scene real fast. So I've got that selected. Let's say that I want to go for a Sunday morning scene, and I want to light the pulpit just in a white in the spotlight, and I want to have the other side set up. And this is a scene that we have pre-saved into the system. So I'm going to hit one of the scene buttons here, and I'm going to drop down to that scene right there. It's a green with the light done. There's also, they have an aqua setup. That's a really nice feel for people. And we've got a variety of different color options that we can choose from for that. In addition to that, we have some other more creative scenes that you can do, and it all depends on what your particular style is and what you're trying to do. So this would be for 4th of July, we pre-programmed this in here for them. We've got red, white, and blue, so we put the pars on the left side as red, the spotlights in the middle, and a couple of the pars white, and the pars on the right side as blue. And then of course with the storm chasers, they have individual selection options, and so we did a red, white, blue pattern on them as well. But you also have another program that's like, we did this for Christmas, so we've got red, white, and green, or red and green, and then of course just white for the spotlight, or for the pulpit to make that visible. So that is basically kind of the overview of that, and it can be customized to your setting, your facility, and then obviously with 240 different scenes, you can access those at any point, and they're pretty easy to switch from once they've been programmed into the system. All right, so once again, this has been Tim with Oto Audio Visual. We've been looking at the lighting system, the lighting control here. If you have any questions about this system or maybe a system that might work for you in your facility, don't hesitate to give us a call, 405-310-9827, or check out our website, otoav.com.